So let me tell you something. Now, I'm not really a big fan of gimmick decks because of a reason that a lot of you probably aren't into gimmick decks, and that you have to carry around a bunch of them if you end up using a lot of them. A lot of them you can only use for 1, 2, maybe 3 tricks, and that's it. And really, half the time there's a alternative that you can use a normal deck of cards for. But there is actually one deck of cards that is completely gimmicked, a gaff deck that I really like to use, and today I'm going to be showing you that deck and how it works. All that and more in this week's episode of Cold Diamond, the Magic Rogue. Hello everyone and welcome back to Cold Diamond, the Magic Rogue, the YouTube channel where I have been replaced by a robot. Joke. I'm your host Cole. If you're interested in learning magic, not just magic tricks, but about magic in general, magic history, all kinds of stuff about magic, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, you know the drill. I post videos every 5 days. Now let's get into the video. So, like I said, I don't really like trick decks, mostly because they're trying to look like normal decks, which means that they take up pocket space that they logically shouldn't be taking up, because realistically you should only have one deck of cards on you when you're in front of an audience, right? Logically, you should only have one, and the fact that you have pockets filled with decks of cards just makes you look suspicious, and then you have to switch out decks, and it's kind of a hassle. But the deck I'm going to be showing you today is called the Delusion deck, and it is a trick deck where the deck itself is a trick. It's kind of the difference between a gimmick like a bite out coin, where it's a special gimmick disguised as a normal coin, and a bent coin, which is a gimmick designed to look like exactly what it is, which is you reveal it and say, look, this is a bent coin. This is a trick deck that from the beginning of the trick is supposed to be a special deck. You're supposed to present it as this deck of cards is special and not like a normal deck, and in that way it's normal for you to be carrying this around in a different pocket than your normal deck of cards. And it's also a killer trick. It's super easy. Used to be able to buy these. For the life of me, I can't find anywhere you can buy one of these, which is why I'm kind of comfortable with revealing how it works. You can theoretically make one of these, though you need quite a deck collection in order to do that, and you'll find out why in a minute. So if you're a deck collector, you can probably make one of these if you have a large collection. If you don't, you're probably out of luck, but you'll still learn some really great magic principles, and this trick is super easy, and you could probably just replicate this with like a normal deck of cards and some duplicates that we'll get into. So let's get into the trick itself. Okay everyone, so before I show you how the Delusion deck works, obviously I want to show you performance, and if any of you ever get a Delusion deck, the first thing that you'll notice is it's kind of weird. Not only because it has 2 face-up cards on top, but because, I mean, you'll see this back does not match this card box, and it's actually not just that card. Every single card in the deck actually has a different back. None of them have the same back. So basically, I'll start dealing cards down, and the spectator can say stop whenever they want. And let's say they say stop there. I can go, okay, do you want any more cards dealt on? Do you want cards taken off? And it really is a free choice. They can choose to go a little further. Maybe they want some cards taken off, but they end up choosing where they want. It really is a free choice. And when they stop, I'm going to take the 9 of clubs here. I'm going to put it right there and put the rest of the deck on top. And now we're going to do exactly the same thing with the 9 of spades. And you can tell the spectator exactly what you're going to do beforehand, because it doesn't really matter. You just deal down, and whenever they want, they can say stop. They say stop there, boom, put the 9 of spades right there, rest of the cards on top. So now the cards can be cut as much as the spectator wants. It's not really necessary though, I don't really need to. But if you want to incorporate that into your routine, just know that they can actually cut the cards. And now, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to spread out the cards, and you'll see all the cards are different, as I said. But, right here, will take out the 9 of clubs and the card that's above it. And again, the spectator stops wherever they want. There's no force to it or anything. Take out the 9 of spades and the card above it. So the spectator said stop wherever they wanted, and the cards went where they wanted them to go, and the cards that just happened to be next to them. Now the 9 of clubs is next to this blue-backed card, and actually the 9 of clubs itself actually has the same back. And the same thing is true for the 9 of spades, and has the same back here. But it gets crazier than that. Because sure, this has the same back as it, but this card is also the 9 of spades. And this card is also the 9 of clubs. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking maybe all of these are the 9 of clubs or 9 of spades, and I just wouldn't do the back thing. I'd have a pretty good chance of getting the 9 of clubs or 9 of spades, and I just show the fronts, you know. But that's not true, because if you had just gone one card later, you would have hit the 2 of diamonds. And if you'd gone another card later, you would have hit the 2 of diamonds. Then the 2 of diamonds, the 2 of diamonds, the 2 of diamonds, the 2 of diamonds. In fact, every single card in the entire deck is the 2 of diamonds, with the exception of these 4 cards. And that is the greatest coincidence I have ever seen. Alright, so here's how it works. What you see is what you get. You have a deck of cards where every card has a different back to it, but they're all the 2 of diamonds or whatever card. It doesn't really matter. And then you have 2 of these and 2 of these. And again, you can make your own version of this at home. It just takes a lot of decks of cards. Though, I guess you could start manufacturing your own. But I don't know how that would work with copyright and stuff. But here's how the setup goes for this trick. So you're going to take the 9 of clubs, one of them, put them on the bottom. Take the 9 of spades, one of them, put them on top. And then I like to put the 9 of clubs on top and then the 9 of spades, because that way it doesn't matter which way I take out the deck, because one side has the 9 of spades, one side has the 9 of clubs. Because if these were switched, I could take it out on this side and then start like dealing down and realize, oh, I'm on the wrong side. So I like to have the 9 of spades on top. And then I'll take them out, I'll deal them down, so now the 9 of clubs is on top anyway, so it can be the first one to go. And here's the thing. When dealing down, it doesn't matter if I stop here, or here, or here. Either way, when I put the 9 of clubs down, the duplicate 9 of clubs, which is on the bottom here, will always be on top of it when I spread out. It does not matter. And on top of that, or should I say on the bottom of that, when I'm dealing down these cards, I'm taking the 9 of spades, which is on top here, I'm putting it down, and then I'm putting cards on top of it. And then when I put the 9 of clubs here, put the rest of the cards on top, now the 9 of spades is on the bottom. Which means we can now do exactly the same thing with the 9 of spades, where wherever they stop, the 9 of spades is always there. And it's really that simple. That's the entire trick. It requires no sleight of hand. It's pretty much self-working, and that's what makes it so great. And just as a quick side note, I would suggest doing kind of what I did in the performance, which is reveal these and then reveal that all the cards are the same. I have done it both ways, where you reveal all the cards are the same and then do it this time, and you could probably think of 9 different reasons why, but the way I did it in the performance tends to get better reactions. I think it's just because this seems like a coincidence at first and it's very impressive, and then this makes it impossible. Meanwhile, if you just do this, it seems like one trick, if you know what I mean. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that trick. I hope you learned something that you can apply to your routines and your tricks. If this does come back onto the market someday, go out and buy it. I'd greatly advise that you do. It's very good and it stuns people. Again, I hope you do consider subscribing. I have a notification squad called the Rogues Gallery. Join that, like the video, comment if you have any questions or just general things you want to talk about. If you put down a comment, there's a good chance I'll reply to it, so do that. Again, I post once every 5 days. If you're watching this, like as it's coming out, my next video will be on Thursday of next week. It is currently Saturday. I have all kinds of different videos. I don't just like show how to do a trick every single video. I talk about magic history. I talk about magic performance, magic as an art, magicians, all that stuff. I have a Twitter that you can follow, link in the description. There I'm going to be posting like news and other projects that I'm involved in. And there is some stuff that I'm doing, so you might want to follow me there. And that's pretty much it for this week, guys. I really appreciate you stopping by and watching this video. That's pretty much it, and I'll see you all later. Cole Diamond, out.